Before you begin entering in task information about your schedule, you're going to want to define your project start date, and this is done in the project information dialog. In there, you'll also see the status date, the current date, a choice to choose your calendar, and statistics. You can also access project information under the File tab, and you can display your project start date and current date in the Gantt view. Then we'll simply talk about saving files in the MPP file format. So let's go have a look in Project. Under the Project tab, I can choose Project Information, and here you can see that I can define my start date. Now, if you don't define the start date, Project will do that for you based on the day you open and save that plan. But it's important for you to do that. So let's say we're starting this plan next Monday. And as you define your project start date, Project will then build your schedule from that point forward. Now, people go, hey, Rob, around here we don't get start dates, we get what? We get deadlines. So it is possible to schedule from the project finish date and do what we call backward scheduling. But in this class, we're going to schedule from the start date, and I'm going to introduce you to another tool called the deadline tool so you can manage to a deadline and calculate whether you're going to be early or late and make the adjustments that way. And that's a much better approach. You can also choose your calendar here, so I can choose my Training 1 calendar, which will apply to all of the tasks in this project. You'll see that we have the current date and status date, and that will become in handy when we talk about updating and tracking in that module for managing projects once it starts. You also have the area in here for enterprise custom fields, and this will only be in Project Professional. If you're connected to Project Server, you can fill out some enterprise project fields. There's also the bonus button down here called Statistics that I can click on, and this will show me my start date, finish date, duration, work, and cost for the entire project, including baseline and actuals once we start to have those. We don't have anything in this plan yet, but this will become useful as we start to build out our plan. So I'm going to simply hit close, and you can see now in the Gantt chart area, the green line represents our current date, which is important because everything to the left of that date is in the past and therefore should be done, and everything to the right is in the future and is therefore to do. And you can also see that I have the gray dotted line here that represents our project start date. Now you can change that by clicking on Format and going to Grid Lines, and you'll see that I can modify in here my current date, and I could even change my project start date if I want, and other grid lines. So you can change the look and feel of those colors. And then once you get your project set up and you're ready to go, you might want to save it. And we're going to do that by going to File, and here I can click on Save As, and I'm just going to call this, I'm going to save it to my computer under Templates, and I'm going to save this as our Class 1 project. And we can use this as our example in this training class. Now, you'll also notice that when you go to File, Save As, you can save it to the SkyDrive or you can save it to other places, because under File, there's an area called Account, and you can collaborate and have connected servers to my SkyDrive or maybe to a site called Project Management Practice Inc. or other things. So it is possible to connect and collaborate more with Project 2013 than ever before. So once we've gone in here, defined our project information dialog box, and defined the project start date, don't forget under the File tab, I have access to this information here, so I can change my project start date here if I want to. I can also change the calendar here and other settings. So you have access to your project information either under the File tab or under the Project tab by clicking on Project Information. So important key step. Define your project start date, make sure you have the right calendar selected, and then you can start building your plan. Now, if you're starting from a template, you're still going to want to define your project start date. And that's an important first step before you start modifying your schedule.